Coming up on Kochie's Business Builders, it's our big mining special where we visit 2 bustling businesses in outback WA to see how they're faring and the keys to their success. Then we top it off with a visit to iconic Aussie outfitter RM Williams. Hey, welcome to the show. We've gone off the beaten track this episode. We're getting down and dirty and heading into outback WA to see how a couple of small businesses are leveraging the mining boom. Then we drop into the iconic RM Williams, this week's entrepreneur in the spotlight. But before all of that, let's get stuck into some news you can use.
New research paints a black and white picture of Australian businesses, with 50% of small to medium outfits not having any online presence, and they're paying for it. Businesses with both a website and social media setup were at least 63% more likely to see revenue rise than those who didn't have one of these sites. That's a great leg up, but even these guys are falling behind the times. Only 39% of businesses accept online payments, 21% conduct email marketing, and just 22% use search engine optimization or search engine marketing. These are troubling numbers from the small business sector, so if you're on the wrong side of the stats, it's past time you sorted it out.
Now, Discovery Cruises is a terrific tourism business that stood strong in the Pilbara, even as a lot of the industry has packed up around it and gone home. We caught up with founder Brad Beaumont to find out why he sees this gem in the rough as a massive opportunity for him and how he plans to future-proof the business for when the boom fades.
So Brad, tell us about what you do and how you got started in business.
Well, I saw an opportunity here when I left the army, and I came here. I've always wanted to be into boats, and saw a bit of a niche here, and so many islands. I thought, why not? Why not a boat? And I managed to get a wreck of a big yacht. I did that up, got in a survey. It took about 3 years. Once it was in survey, it was just no looking back. Tourism was for me.
And what's it like running a tourism business in a resource-dominated industry?
It's difficult, I'd say. Difficult because of the accommodation, the difficulty we've got here with the people trying to stay here more than 1 or 2 nights. We do have some camps that allow people to stay, but mostly if you were after a huge tourism operation, you would fail dismally up here because we don't have the accommodation at the moment for it. What we do have though is tourists on the other side of things, like visitors coming, visiting friends. That's where I do a lot of my business.
How have you survived with your business when so many others have finished up and or shut down?
Well, I looked at the tourist market and saw that the tourists can be your local community as well. So I've marketed deeply into the community, as in doing things for the community, Christmas parties, all those type of things, and eventually moving up. I've got a fishing licence now, because not only do I do the charter boats, I have hire boats and I have a marine school as well. The diversification is really important that you become part, again, of the group. And it's important that we understand that I'm part of the community and people can use me for various different reasons, not just tourism, but getting out to the islands, getting to see things, and actually contractual work as well. There's a lot more people travelling around Australia, and I'm getting them on my tours, and I've scaled my tours to actually meet them, the prices to meet the lower end, and keep the prices down so people can afford it.
So how important is tourism for the Pilbara, do you think?
This is a tourist destination. Make no bones about that. We have 42 islands out here, 150 beaches, and nowhere on the West Australian coast can you find that. All we need is that infrastructure to be built and accommodation with people, and you will see a tourism industry not equalled anywhere up and down this coast once it starts.
How important do you think small operators such as yourself are to the Pilbara region?
When we talk about small business, we talk about Australian owned, and the beautiful thing about that is that they form your community. A small business form the community, and if we can keep small business happening and work at it very hard, your community will grow and we'll have that usability between every organisation, every business, and we'll make it worthwhile for the communities. That's the way I see it.
Coming up on KBB, a small business that's made clients out of resource and energy giants. This business tip brought to you by NAB. We see Australian business. Paul, you say that you see Australian business. Say I have a protective clothing business in the Pilbara. What do you see for me?
I see a business owner in a growth town and looking to partner with somebody to help them crystallise and maximise that growth.
And protect it?
Protect it, absolutely. Protect the income stream because often it's contained in the business. We look to diversify it, make certain that they've got growth assets like property and shares.
To secure the future?
Well, that's where the other investment comes into play, and that's why we use superannuation in the main to help people build their wealth in a tax-favoured environment.
Self-managed?
Self-managed is absolutely an option. It has some complexities, but we make certain we partner with our business owners to ensure those complexities are understood.
Do you offer advice in that area, say through a financial planner?
We've got 500-odd financial planners located right across the country in all regions with great expertise, particularly in self-managed superannuation.
Good on you, Paul. Thanks.
Good on you, Kochie. Thank you.
For more information, visit nab.com.au/small business. Now, Oceanic Offshore once plied its trade as a pearling company before making the too-big-to-ignore transition into commercial diving and bringing in big customers like Rio Tinto and Chevron along the way. We dropped in on their Pilbara office to see how they're delivering in a region dominated by resource and energy giants.
So can you describe to me what commercial diving actually is? What does it entail?
If you could think of everything that you could do in above water, is basically what we supply underwater. So we do everything from surveying, seabed analysis, construction, demolition, salvage, everything that you could possibly think of.
And so what's it like being a small business in an area which is dominated by such large resource players?
Overwhelming, in one word. Yeah, look, it's good. We're a very dynamic industry. We have to basically react to whatever their requirements are. One week you'll be doing navigation aid installations, then the next week you might be working on a jacket on a rig.
So how important is it for you in your business to look beyond those peak construction cycles and diversify into other areas?
Look, you do have to keep your eye on the ball and look forward. It's very hard. At the moment, there's lots of tendering processes that go in place and you're competing against international companies and also with the overheads that you have with the mining boom or the runoff of the mining boom. So it's very difficult, but it's rewarding nevertheless.
Is being a local business based in the Pilbara a competitive advantage?
Being local is a competitive advantage, but at the same time it can be a negative. You know, we're rolling off the mining boom. We're still incurring all these exponential costs from that, and trying to dissipate those leading into the future is going to be a big challenge.
What other things are you doing to future-proof your business?
Basically, we're trying to set up a lot more tenders, long-term tenders, and things in the like of diversifying our company so that we can self-support our services. You know, there's many avenues to diving, but diving is just one thing. You know, you need to get to the job, you need to support the diving services whilst on site, all these engineering and project management, and we're starting to diversify in those roles now.
So what are the keys to your success, do you think, as a business here in the Pilbara?
I think the very fundamental key to our success is our people. I mean, we wouldn't be anything without our employees, and we treat our employees like our family. It's a small business, family business anyway, and basically we welcome our employees as extended members of our family. There's also the local knowledge. You know, you can't beat local knowledge. We're born and bred here, so we know it's basically our backyard up and down the coast, so we can provide a very extensive local knowledge of history, trends, all these sorts of things to our clients, and that gives them an edge as well, you know, so they actually understand exactly what they can expect, and we're very transparent about that. We're quite happy to help them.
Coming up on KBB, we get some savvy business tips from iconic Aussie business RM Williams. This business tip brought to you by DOT, digital office technology from Telstra.
So Mike, what are the things for a small business to consider when it comes to their communications?
Small businesses should consider putting all their services onto the one account. This includes landlines and mobiles and can make it much more convenient on the one bill. You could also provide some cost savings as well if you've got people on the go or across multiple sites. Businesses could look for solutions that do have local calls included.
Okay, so that's phone calls covered. What about data sharing?
Of course, accessing your files on the go is really important, but to actually share your mobile broadband data allowance between tablets and smartphones is another way to stay connected. This helps make full use of your mobile broadband data allowance and gives you the flexibility on how you want to access your data, whether mobile, tablet or laptop.
And Telstra has all of these features covered?
That's right, DOT or Digital Office Technology from Telstra includes all these features on a simple bill. Plus we've got 24/7 support from a team of tech experts.
To find out more, go online and visit telstra.com/dot. RM Williams is a terrific Aussie icon. It has a long history, phenomenal track record of diversification, and has recently ensured its operation well into the future by taking in investors. KBB's Alex Brophy caught up with Chief Executive Hamish Turner to get his tips on how you can ensure the future of an established business by taking in those new investors.
You've built one of the most iconic brands in Australia. How important has it been communicating such a strong Australian culture through your brand?
I think that's one of the important parts about this business. No one person has created RM Williams. The great man himself had the vision, but the ability for him to engage expertise, to engage people with passion, and then to be able to grow the business from there. You know, this business today is still about people. And I suppose the other part is that, you know, it's been very fortuitous that the company has always upheld its Australianness. And you've got to do that by making sure you don't forget your heritage. You know, we sell more product today to people in the bush than ever before.
Really?
We have more people employed in our factory making Australian-made product than ever before. But it's also important to complement that with modern techniques. And the emerging markets, as we know in the world today, is to actually look at brands and companies and products that have stood the test of time, but apply themselves to this modern generation.
So Hamish, with such a successful business that had previously been public, what was the thought process behind remaining private through your investment?
Ken, being the very successful businessman that he's been over many, many decades, saw the opportunity and privatised it in his own right. Fast forward to May 15 this year, and LCAP, sponsored by Louis Vuitton Moët Hennessy, become the 49.9% shareholder at Ken's agreement and well wishes. He wanted to make sure that if there was a partner to the business, it was about taking our brand to the world. It was actually about keeping manufacturing here. It was about making sure that RM Williams really could fulfil the potential. Integrity in decisions on private entities and having partners, that was important, but they also respected what we did. And if you look at the suite of brands within the LVMH group, many are handcrafted. Many of those brands, they've kept the original base, they've kept their original manufacturing.
Okay, looking at your investment with L Capital, how did you go about preparing the business for the investment?
Well, it's interesting. We actually have always had a philosophy, and driven by Ken, that the business always had to have value. It was always about creating greater value. And that's also about making sure owners reinvest. And we structured and operated the business like it was public. So to then actually have somebody interested in coming into the business, it wasn't a case of preparing it, it was prepared. And I think that was one of the great compliments we got out of the process when we sat down with LCAP. They looked at the business and said, you know, a lot of the work that we'd normally have to come into a business and do has been done.
Now you've got an amazing presence, 900 stockers, an export portfolio of 15 countries. What are the keys to your business success?
That's an interesting question. I don't think there ever is a limit to the number of keys. Invariably good businesses do 100 things 1% better. That creates the improvement. It comes down, as I said before, to people. When people care at every step of the manufacturing process, the selling process, the marketing process, you've actually got the commitment to deliver excellence. That, I think, is the key to our success. I think the other part is that we've kept something unique, and that is to be a manufacturer in this country making a handcrafted product. And we know on a world scale that the way we make a boot now is the last type of structured boot of its type on the planet.
Could your business do with a digital makeover? Well, how does $10,000 sound to get your digital marketing to the next level? KBB Digital is giving you the chance to win a $10,000 package this month, which you could use for any of its services, from website development, search engine optimization, app building, or social media strategy. It's up to you. Head to kbbdigital.com.au to enter.
Small businesses play a major role in our superannuation system, so it's crucial to understand changes and get super guarantee payments right. As we all know, the super guarantee rate has changed from 9% to 9.25%. The super guarantee upper age limit of 70 is gone, which means you're now required to contribute for eligible employees 70 years of age and older. There's also the new data and e-commerce standard that enables contributions to be made quickly and easily to all funds in one electronic format. Small businesses with 19 or fewer employees have until the 1st of July 2015 to adopt the standard, while for employers with 20 or more employees, the new standard applies from 1st of July 2014. Some super funds and commercial clearinghouses are expected to offer free or low-cost solutions to adopt the new standard, but you may also be eligible to use the free Small Business Superannuation Clearinghouse to help out. These are a few of the many changes taking place, so stay up to date with what's happening through the new Small Business Assist.
Coming up next, it's Ask Kochie, where we answer another of your questions.
This segment brought to you by NAB. We see Australian business.
Hi, my name's Dave Whitworth. Most people in the Pilbara know me as Harry. This is my business, LJ Hooker Pilbara. Welcome. LJ Hooker's been here in Karratha since 1991. The difference that we make with ourselves with being LJ Hooker is, one, it's the brand. Two, it's making sure that service sells. And if it's the one mantra that we do have here, it's that we need to make sure that the servicing that we do today will bring the client back tomorrow. Currently we sit number 3 out of 800 offices, which is pretty good for a small place like Karratha. Small businesses are absolutely critical. It's no good having a world powerhouse in minerals or oil and gas if you don't have small business to pick up the seams behind those large mining houses, to be able to go and do those smaller jobs that need to be done. Without small business, then you wouldn't be able to, we wouldn't be able to enjoy some of the facets of living in the Pilbara, which is the greatest place in Australia to be. In small business, you can make an awful lot of money in a very short period of time. However, some folk have the tendency to go and spend that extra money that they've made without thinking about, if I need to put something aside for when the tide turns. Our tide's starting to turn, and the fortunate part for us in our business here at LJ Hooker Pilbara is that we've actually got sufficient cash reserves, so we're now looking to expand our operations. While the rest of the market might be having a belief that things are actually going to go a bit sour, I'd rather use those cash reserves we've got to expand now while it's small, so then when it does continue to have strong positive growth, we're part of that local scene. Our relationship with our bank, which is NAB Bank, has been extremely important to us being able to, one, to be able to borrow money to buy the rent roll that we purchased in Newman. But I'd have to say that when it comes to business banking and business relationship banking, the NAB is the only one that gets it. And speak to them about making sure you get that cash flow right. If there's one thing that kills a business here, it's inadequate cash flow and understanding that it will take you some time to break into this market. But everyone here loves a new business and they're quite happy to support a new business. Just make sure that what you say you're going to deliver, you deliver.
For more information, visit nab.com.au/smallbusiness.
It's Tech Tip Time with Val Quinn.
In the electronic age, many of us aren't taking notes with paper and pen anymore. However, some of us still like to, but it can be a pain to manage your notes once you've written them. However, with the LiveScribe 3 Smart Pen, this gets much easier. What you do is you still take notes on paper, but it beams through Bluetooth your notes to a smartphone or a tablet device that runs the app. And at the same time, the LiveScribe will record the audio that's going around during the note-taking. Now, once it's sent to your tablet or smartphone, the app can transform your notes into useful content, which can then be tagged for searching as well as shared. And also, your handwriting can be converted to normal text. So if you still want to write on paper, the Live Scribe is that perfect link between the digital age and pen and paper.
Time to answer some of your questions. Hayley has sent this one in. She says, I'm having trouble finding a beauty therapist to work in my salon. The big problem is that we live in a small rural town. Can you point me in the right direction? Hayley, sounds like it might be a matter of investing time and training in maybe a new recruit to the industry. People that want to change careers, like youth workers and parents returning to the workforce, are all great pools to draw on here. People with the conviction and confidence in their ability to make a career move often have the skills to excel in any job, and the same goes for returning parents. And while young people might not have that skill set initially, they'll work hard to justify their place and repay your faith in hiring them. That's it for this week. We'll catch you next time. Next week on KBB, we look at the ins and outs of public relations and explore a cobbling success in an old world industry.